Hello, hello, hello.
G'day.
Welcome. This is episode 4 of My Wife's Unavailable. And I have back, filling in once again, Lady Amanda.
It is an absolute pleasure to be back for the second time.
Isn't it?
I feel like I hold a title so far, the record.
I was already thinking that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I already have a repeat guest. Like, we're just setting records.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed your podcast up to now.
Thank you.
So I do feel honoured to be back. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. I hope you come back again even.
Oh, can't get rid of me.
Let's just
like
see
part
how,
of the furniture.
yeah, see how many times we can do repeats.
Loving it.
So we didn't really introduce you last time.
No, I was good with that because I wanted it to be about you. And it was, let's be real, it was the pilot episode.
Yeah.
We didn't know where it was going to go.
Didn't even know we were going to use it.
I was content with letting it just be about you
Okay, cool.
as it needed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate that. And it helped me get, it really truly helped me get kind of out of my shell, kind of the jitters, the, you know, breaking the ice sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate that.
Ah.
But I want my listeners to know you. So please introduce yourself.
I am the one and only Lady Amanda, originally from Melbourne, Australia, currently living in the US of A. I've been here 11 years and 1 day.
Ooh.
It was my anniversary yesterday.
Congrats.
I got my US citizenship last year, almost a year ago. I think it was like June 28th.
Okay. So we got another anniversary coming up.
Another anniversary coming up. Yes, I've been living in Washington State and now I'm on a bit of an eat, pray, love journey across the US. So I've done a pit stop in Arizona. And yeah, not sure where I'm going to land, where I'll end up, but you are making a great case for Arizona. It is beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, and number 1 and number 2 things are hard to beat, you know. That's myself and Emma.
Well, I was going to say, besides you guys, I mean, the weather's great.
Mm-hmm.
I know you. Okay, I'm going to put it out there.
Do it.
These are one of my things. You know, your wife's unavailable.
Yeah.
My friend's unavailable. We've just got to chat to each other.
Yeah.
I thought you guys would be slightly more acclimated. I'm using your word. Acclimatized.
Oh my gosh, acclimatized.
Like it's hot. Don't get me wrong, but it's sort of nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find that it's like everyone has the same thought around here. It's not just I'm not singling out you guys, but it's like, oh my God, it's hot. It's 90 degrees or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing a jumper, a jacket, or whatever you want to call it, a hoodie top.
Yep.
Hoodie.
I call it a hoodie.
Yeah, because I do find it a little cold, like on the in the inside of stores and shops and cars and
the AC's blazing here.
Yeah, so I feel like that's probably the difference between Australia and the US.
Okay.
When these hot parts, don't get me wrong, because Washington was always rainy and cold. But yeah, it's like here they compensate very well for the heat and everything is like walking into a fridge.
Yeah.
Whereas Australia, everything's still hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they have, like the stores are air conditioned, don't get me wrong, but a lot of houses don't have air conditioning or we'll wait until it's like, you know, over 100 to even think about putting it on.
Yeah.
We're a little cheap over there. Yeah.
I will say though, it is June and you have not met July in the Phoenix area.
I'm a little scared of that.
It's just, it's very warm. Like it is toasty out there. And I think what the problem is a lot of people, you get stuck inside. You get stuck inside in the summer months, which
you can't really hike.
Yeah, which usually the summer months are when people are out playing and gallivanting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse of Washington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was a mind F for me. Like that was like, I was like, wait, especially because we moved here. We got here on July 4th.
Whoa.
And I had been in Washington for the previous, 30 some years. Yeah. So it's like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be like
this is when you're like outdoors.
Yeah. And it was like, nope.
Wow.
So it is hot, but it does help that you kind of run cold.
I do.
So you probably like that.
Yeah. It's sort of bizarre to me that I've never had my air conditioner on in the car this much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I'm usually maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like the rare hot day in Washington that it gets to 100 and you're like, oh, no, this feels good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, here it's like literally your car's – it's automatic.
Yeah.
It's already on when you start your car.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and in July, I mean, I'm not trying to scare you, just trying to be real. There are times where you just step outside and you're out there for moments and you're sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you didn't even do much. You just like were standing there talking to someone.
No, I can see that because we've had was it 109 the other day?
I'm not sure what it was.
Maybe when I was up in Bullhead City and I feel like it was 109.
Yeah, it could have been.
I think you guys were 114. I'm sure Emma had sent me a screenshot.
I don't know. It was the hottest day of the year so far. But yeah,
crazy.
And July will be like pretty consistently like in the 110s, like 110, 115.
Yeah, that's high.
And your low will be like 95, 90,
right?
You know, and so
that's
just like
bizarre to think it doesn't really drop overnight. You know how normally it's like you would expect it, maybe 60. What is the hottest temperature you've ever experienced?
120.
Wow, and that was here?
Yep.
Yeah, middle of summer.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it was last summer was particularly harsh.
Right.
And you know, this is going to be 5 years next month, so I haven't been here that long. But that was all we kept hearing from people that have been here longer was like how hot the summer was. Wow. It came early, it stayed late, and it was hot.
Yeah.
And that was probably last summer. But there's been other summers too where it's been like 118, 119.
Yeah.
But yeah, 120.
That's insane. I'm trying to convert what that would be in Celsius and my brain is not computing.
Yeah, and we don't have anyone here to ask
maybe
to Google.
48. I know, Emma.
This is when
your wife is bloody unavailable.
Yeah, and this is also when I wish my cat could do things like,
right.
Hey, Charlie, can you please just Google this real quick?
Yeah. Genius.
Yeah.
Train that cat. Yeah. So how has your week been?
Oh, the week's been great.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting over a cold.
Yeah.
But it was also, I've had like mild symptoms where nothing really kind of got crazy, but I just have this tickle in my throat and this like throat thing that's lingering.
I think I have now got the throat thing. Last night I was laying in bed and every swallow was like I was swallowing a razor blade. It was just like
razor blades.
Razor blades. It was so like harsh, you know what I mean? Like every like swallow was like and all I could think about was getting up this morning, going to the shop and getting some like cough lollies.
Yeah.
And
I love that you call them cough lollies.
What do you call them?
Wait, did
cough
you pick
drops?
some up?
I did.
Okay, I might need to borrow.
Oh, please. I've got a whole packet. But when I got up, I had a coffee because I also had a headache and I realised I didn't really have much caffeine yesterday. If I probably had like a half a cup of drip.
Whoa, which is not much.
No. So anyway, it was like a bit of both. And I did have the coffee and just relaxed a bit and then went to the store and got a few little goods and what do you call them? Odds and
produce?
sods. Yeah,
I don't know.
Produce, whatever.
I saw you come home with produce.
Yeah, I did. And anyway, it feels a lot better.
Okay.
So I think maybe it was just the combination of probably I didn't drink enough yesterday, dry throat.
Yeah.
Slight thing, but my glands feel a bit swollen.
Yeah.
But enough of me whinging.
Well, see, I didn't have a sore throat though. I just had like this tickle that kept like making me want to cough.
Yeah, but that's even more annoying.
Yeah, but then I didn't really have a cough either. It was only like when this tickle would come up and then I would cough. It's been strange. But I've heard there's like hundreds, maybe thousands of different types of the common cold, like strands or whatever.
Yeah.
And that like you never have the same cold like again in your lifetime. It's always like a little bit different.
Interesting. Okay, I've got a random fact.
Okay, great.
Okay. I heard that, you know how people get the flu shot?
Uh-huh.
It's actually based on what was in Australia the last season or whatever. That's how they come up with the flu, like strains that are in the shot.
Oh, that
don't
then
quote
give you
me.
in the current season.
Yeah, that they give to the Americans.
That would make sense.
I would need to fact check this.
Wait, you're talking about Australia to America?
I'm talking about when you have one here in the US.
Whoa.
I did read somewhere that it was based on the strains that were in Australia.
Whoa.
So that's how they develop the current flu shot.
So the US just is a big follower. Okay. Doesn't even do anything for.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is probably the only time the US has ever followed Australia in anything. And don't quote me because it was just this random fact that I do remember reading and thinking fascinating.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm now curious were we to have someone available to help us again, we'd get them on the Google.
Absolutely.
But we can fact check.
Yeah. So just for everyone listening, these are just facts coming out of our mouths.
And I'm not putting any money down on it. No.
Not citing any sources because we don't have any.
Just a random thought that was in my head that I just said out loud.
Yeah. And if anyone knows the actual fact, please hit me up because I would love that.
I would actually love to know.
Yeah. And I'll let you know.
Please do. Yes.
But anyway, I want people to hear about your podcast too. Because our first episode, we talked about podcasting as a general.
Yes.
I was getting started. As we said, we had no idea we were going to even use that footage. Is it still called footage if it's not film?
I don't think I would call it footage, but I don't know what I would call it. Recording?
I guess.
Sound bites? I don't know.
I like the word footage.
Let's just use it.
Okay.
We make our own rules.
Yeah. This is my podcast, so I'm going to call it what I want to do.
The footage, the raw footage. Okay, so long story short, as I explained, I've been living here in Australia and living in the US. And my family came over for Christmas 2 years ago. Well, a year and a half, I guess. Anyway, my brother was like, you should do a podcast. You'd be really great. And I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, no, don't think so. Anyway, he planted the seed and then I happened to be a guest on, my whole family did, on my old boss's podcast. And I thought to myself, this is really easy. Like, don't get me wrong, you have to think about it. But, he showed me his setup and I was like, okay, I like that you can press a button and boom. There's no after production. Like, I didn't want anything complex. So long story short, I was like, what would it even be about? And then I was like, well, you know what? Every day my life is an adventure here. Someone can't understand me or, like I ask for a bag of ice and they're like, no idea what I'm talking about. Ask for a pecan pie and I get a bacon pie. Crazy thing. So I was like, you know what? It could be fun to, explore the differences.
Yeah.
So anyway, it started off pretty much like that. I'd like have a little segment of like guess the Aussie word and I was actually studying for my citizenship at the time. So it was like I was asking Americans the citizenship questions.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because I was convinced that no American would actually pass this test.
Yeah.
Some of them are really complex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I've heard. And I'm like, I don't even think Americans are actually tested on that stuff.
And most people that I asked said, we did learn this at school, but couldn't tell you now. Like, could you name the 13 original colonies? Things like that.
Definitely not.
Right. So things like that. Who was Susan B. Anthony? That was one that I actually got asked when I went to do my test.
And you had to know.
Yes.
Like, in what detail did you have to know?
She advocated for women's rights.
Okay.
Like
so you could.
It was like there was literally a question and an exact answer.
Oh, okay.
So you had to give the answer as it was written in the official guidebook type thing. There was 100 questions and answers and you had to do 10. But you were allowed to get a 60% pass rate. So I got the first 6 right, so that's all I had to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had study materials?
I did. Okay. I actually bought – oh, mate, I went all out. I bought the flashcards.
You were going to nail this thing.
I literally studied my ass off for maybe 3 months. I just sat there reading. And, I'd have my flashcards and all the ones I knew I'd put in one pile. And then I'd just every day go through them.
Yeah.
So, I could do it boom, off the top of my head.
In your sleep.
In my sleep, back to front, inside out, whatever. So, it was exciting. But basically that's how I got the start on the podcast and I've been going, I think I just did 72.
That's amazing.
Crazy. Yeah, I committed to myself to do 1 a week.
Okay.
And, I mean, obviously weeks get crazy, life gets busy, but I was like, I just want to find 1 hour a week and do it.
Yeah.
So, I didn't think it was
a willing victim.
A willing victim. And, I got to say, my friends have been very patient with me and very accommodating. That's because sometimes everyone's like, oh, my God, please, again.
Well, they want to support you.
Yeah, so everyone's been amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what is your podcast called?
It is called G'day from the USA.
Yes.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
and
dun,
you
dun,
have
dun,
been the guest. Did we say 4 times, or was it 3?
I think 3.
I must have just been dreaming that I was going to get you back for one more.
Yeah, well, it could happen.
It will happen. I mean, this is what I say. Like at the end of every episode, I'm like, will you be back?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yes.
I know.
And I do hold them to that.
Yeah. I wanted to steal that question, and then I realized I wasn't asking it. But I think in my head, I'm just assuming everyone's going to come back. So
Everyone will want to.
I'm answering the question for them in my head.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
And then you have a TikTok also.
I do. Also, G'day from the USA.
Yeah. Did that start before, after, during?
After.
Okay.
I want to say I'd been doing the podcast maybe 5 months.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine said, you should get a TikTok. Yeah. And I had an aversion to TikTok. I'm not going to lie. And for no great reason.
Yeah.
I guess I just see people just mindlessly
scrolling,
flicking for hours, like looking at videos.
It's addicting. They make it addicting on purpose.
Right. And I guess I didn't want to go down that path of doing it. And I'm not going to lie again. Even though I do have a TikTok and have quite the following, I'm not on there looking. I mean, I try to look at everyone's comments when they write to me, but I don't. I'm not looking at anyone's videos.
You're a TikToker, but you're not a...
Yeah, I'm not a TikToker.
Yeah, what do we call that?
I don't know. I just don't.
Because I was calling myself a podcaster. Like
as you are.
But before this, I was calling myself that because I listened to them all the time.
Oh.
And then I was like, well, now I'm a podcaster. Yeah. Podcastee.
You are definitely a podcaster now, but maybe you're a podcastee.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should say.
Again, we can just set our own. TikToky. So yeah, long story short, I feel like I've got too much to do, or my mind has too many things that I want to do that I just can't value sitting there scroll.
Yeah, that's how I am with all social media.
Yeah.
I can't be on there long.
No, I feel the same. And I feel bad because I know a lot of people, like even on Facebook, like I post every day, I do a happiness thing when I'm up to day 3,000 something or other. Mm-hmm. And everyone does always give me great feedback and comment. And I don't, I probably miss all of their things.
Yeah.
So every now and then I jump on for maybe half an hour, but in general, no.
Yeah, it's hard because then you want to be connected in your present day, like with whoever you're with or what you're doing.
And I'm very big on that. Yeah. Like if I'm like with someone, I want to be like enjoying their company, not think back, oh yeah, I remember sitting on their couch, like looking at my phone the whole time they were talking to me. Like I would just, Yeah. Like I value my time with people more than anything. So that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I try to dedicate, like I'm still working on what this flow is like for me, but I'm trying to dedicate like a time each day where I'm going to go in and respond to people and like actually, what's it called? I guess connect socially on social media. And
that is huge. I've discovered that people love interaction. So I try to respond to every comment. Yeah. Like if they've just like laughed or something, I'll like it. But if they've like written something, I do try to write back. And a few people have said that they appreciate how, I guess, like reactive I am, or what's a better word for that? How interactive. That's the word. Go on, interactive. Yeah.
But it's hard because then you get stuck on there sometimes.
And I don't want to be, exactly. So sometimes I miss things, don't get me wrong. And, every now and then I'll be like, oh, you're not replying anymore or something. And I'll be like, sorry, actually been busy. Yeah. Like I do have a life.
Yeah. But you watch out for the doom scroll is what they call it, right? The doom scroll.
I've never heard this.
When you're just stuck scrolling.
I just couldn't. I mean, I even did it this morning. I think I was on Facebook and I was trying to like respond to things. And I went on Reels. I touched this thing I didn't even want to look at, a bloody cake.
Yeah.
And then I just kept I did it, and I found myself doing it for maybe 3 minutes, and I was like, no, stop. Like I don't need to do this.
Yeah, I used to get really into the Reels, especially some of the funny pet ones. And I have like my cousin Cynthia. Shout out Cynthia.
Hey Cynthia.
Her and I exchange cat videos because we both. I love that. I have an orange cat. She had an orange cat. Sadly, doesn't anymore. But that's kind of where it started, was our love for orange cats. And so we send cat videos. And then my friend Maggie, shout out Mags.
G'day, Mags.
We also will just send ridiculous clips back and forth to each other. But those people will probably notice that my videos that I send have lessened.
Right.
Because I'll notice that I'm scrolling through to like find a video to send, and then I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just want to, if I see one that reminds me of that, then send it.
Spontaneity.
Yeah, something like that. So, but then like I'll also, there's some people that like for instance, Emma's dad's a great example where he's on Facebook all the time. He's always posting just awesome posts. He takes great pictures. And he's an old guy. And so I want to keep up with like what he's doing.
Right.
You know, he's also my wife's dad. So, and I know he's on there. So I will purposefully like go and look and see what he's up to and comment because I want to interact that way. But then sometimes I get caught then scrolling after that.
It's a vicious cycle.
Oh shit, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And sometimes I straight up just X out. I'm like,
that's what I do. But I like your idea how you are like to set aside a time like to respond to things. That's good. That's a really good way to do it.
Yeah, because you want to interact with the people.
And it is important commenting. If you're like doing a podcast or people want to be able to like, we ask for feedback. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So for someone to actually give it to us, we should be grateful. Yeah, like this morning, you know, it's Wednesday and that's when episodes launch. Yes, hump day.
I had the episode where I had my sister on launched and everyone was hitting me up. Oh. And it was great. Yeah. But next thing I know, my morning is like an hour later than I normally am.
Right.
And I was like, holy crap. And it's because I just got blasted with all these messages, which were great and lovely.
You were going back and forth.
Yeah. But then I went, okay, that's just something else I need to think about. Like when I'm going to sit down and respond to people because they also don't need a response right away.
They don't.
Yeah. And that's kind of
the problem with today's society that everyone thinks that they need like instant. Like, you know, have you ever had the person or the people that you're texting and they're like, oh, I guess you're busy because you haven't literally responded within the time frame that they thought you should respond to a text.
Whoa. Fortunately, I've never had somebody respond to me like that.
I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it really confronting.
Yeah.
Because text to me is like, I may be doing 85 things, but when I get a second, I'll reply and then reply again. I'm not just sitting there looking at the phone, texting back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might just be too like when texting became a thing in your lifetime because even for me, it's not, I don't sit and text a lot of people. The main person I text is my younger sister who's 9 years younger than me. Yeah. So she grew up, texting is a totally different story in her life.
Yeah.
But other than that, a text is to me something that like, it doesn't warrant a conversation.
Right.
I can just send you a text real quick and I don't need an answer right away. That is literally what a text is.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. So
brilliant.
I don't know.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. I don't know where the expectation comes from, but that's kind of where I was going with that. Like, it's sad that we think, or it's not even like we think, but like our culture is kind of developed into this. If I text you, I get an answer right away. If I email you, I get something like it's that instant.
Yeah. I guess it's like everything. Like, I'm not sure about when you went to school, but when I went to school, it was like you'd go to the library to research. Yeah. There was no Googling stuff like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even that is so bizarre that you have a thought in your head and you get an answer immediately. Mm-hmm. Like if I had a thought in my head back in the day, I'd have to go research and probably use a book that was 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? But Wesley and I talked about this on our episode very briefly.
Right.
But when I was probably in high school and I don't know exactly when Google became a thing, but when I was in high school, that's when computer research was starting to kick up. And she said, she's like, I literally remember you being like, we'd have like a curiosity about something and you'd be like, let's Google it. And we would just find out right away. Yeah. And I still to this day, if I'm thinking about something, I Google it.
Yeah.
And I realize that disconnects me from like the old school research, the library, that kind of thing. I still read all the time.
Right.
But I think it draws me even closer to learning topics that I wouldn't have learned otherwise.
Exactly, because you don't have time to get on the bus to go up to the library to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when Google was a thing, when it first came out. And I think I lived in London from 1997 to just before the millennium. What was the year 2000? It's called the millennium, wasn't it?
I guess. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was,
millennium.
and it was in that time because I remember a friend of mine had said, "Try Google," and I'm like, "What's Google?" Like I remember this conversation. They're like, "It's like a search engine or whatever," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." And then once I used it, I was like, "This is like better than any other search
Yeah.
engine." So yeah, it was sometime between 1997 and 1999
Okay.
that Google became a thing.
Okay. That checks
Interesting.
out because
Yeah.
in 2000, I think I was in high school in 2003 or the end of 2002 because we start in the fall in Washington. And then I would have been in middle school, like when it was
Yeah.
kind of starting up.
crazy.
So that checks out. But
Right.
But yeah, and it's still like I was thinking about this today. I love looking stuff. I just love learning.
Yeah.
So
same.
Google to me has been so awesome because I can learn about the like smallest thing
Yes.
detail. The other day I learned about a smiling
A quokka.
rodent
A
of sorts that's in
quokka.
Australia. Yeah.
Yes,
And I was able to look it up
amazing.
and look at pictures like boom. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
how cool.
The most amazing thing about a quokka, not to get off topic, but they're only from one island off the coast of, well, it's part of Australia. It's like you can literally, I think you can actually drive across. No, maybe it's a ferry.
Is it Tasmania?
No, it's actually sort of near Perth, Western Australia. It's called Rottnest Island.
Oh, okay.
And the majority of the island, I'm pretty sure it's like you ride a bike around.
Oh,
So
that
it's
sounds
just
lovely.
really cool. And there's these, little quokkas, which are little, almost like a big version of a squirrel or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
It
can't
looked
even
like a
describe
marmot
it.
to me.
Yeah, something. Yes, exactly, something like that. So,
Yeah.
but they're just really sweet and
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And they literally have a smile on their face.
I know they're adorable. Other random fact is the possums in Australia and the possums here completely different.
Really?
Like when
Are they
someone said,
cuter in
"Oh my
Australia?
god," they're like a big. Well, I know I'm like hounding on this word, but they're like a big squirrel. They're like got a big ringtail. They're called a ringtail possum, and they got a ringtail, fluffy tail like a squirrel.
Really?
Adorable.
I gotta look this up.
Adorable. Yeah.
Ringtail
And then when
possum.
someone was like, "Oh, there's a possum," I'm like running out, like, "Where?" And they're like, "That." And I'm like, what is that? So, yeah, the possums here, definitely nothing like the possums in Australia.
I don't even know if we have possums in Arizona,
Oh.
but I know in Washington, and they were nasty.
Interesting.
And I remember this one
Yes.
time. I don't remember if it was me or my dad, but one of us, we were like outside together, and one of us found one in the garbage can. Like we went to put like
Aw.
garbage, and it was like in there.
That's
I think it was me
crazy.
because I think I remember it scared the shit out of me. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? And I think I ran and got my dad. And then my dad was like, probably grumpy about it. Like, God damn it. Now I got to deal
Yeah.
with this possum. But it was the ugliest,
Yes.
freakiest thing I'd ever seen.
Nothing. I would never have expected that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I don't see those in Arizona.
No,
I know
all
we-
I've seen is lizards
Yeah.
everywhere. It's
I-
sort of cool.
Yeah. Well, where we're at, the Phoenix area, it's very deserty. And I don't even know if that's a word, but
I think it is.
it's your lizards, your snakes, chipmunk, which is called a ground squirrel here.
Maybe that is what Emma saw yesterday.
Maybe. I don't know.
She said she saw something and yeah.
Yeah. But if you go up a little bit north and not very far, then you start getting skunks.
Oh.
And actually, we saw some skunks when we were at Lake Pleasant one year too. So
Wow.
maybe it's just not here in the city, but yeah, like skunks, wild burros, those are fun. But yeah, skunks would scare me a little bit too, just because I hear horror stories from Emma. which-
Yes. I used to think they were cute, but she has now turned me off
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember we were camping and there was something getting into our stuff.
Uh-oh.
And I went out there, and as we discussed this last week, I have terrible eyesight. And I didn't have glasses on. I was just
Oh.
like, I don't really care. I'm going to go out there, scare away whatever this thing is, because I'm
Were
trying to
you
sleep.
thinking bear?
No, not at all.
You're thinking
'Cause we
something
don't really
small.
have bears. Yeah, I was thinking it's just whatever. And I could just see this like, just
Shape.
this, yeah, just this round blob. I call them blobs. We used to call our cats an orange blob and dark blob, and I would be like, oh, it's the dark blob, like, because that was all I could see.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was just this blob. You know, I scared it off, whatever. Well, then it was like coming back before I got back to the tent. So I grabbed a flashlight and I shine it and I'm like, oh shit, that's a skunk.
Whoa.
But it wasn't until I shined the light on him that he actually cared and ran away. And then
so that could have ended badly.
It could have ended badly for me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I went back to the tent and I was like, it was a skunk. And Emma was like, oh my God, what'd you do? And I'm like, well, I just came right up onto it because I was like, get out of here.
Right.
Didn't know what it was till I got the light.
Damn.
So yeah, there's
Could have
also
still
skunks.
been smelling like skunk.
I know. I could have been really screwed.
Yeah.
But, it worked out for me.
Yeah, they live to tell the tale.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Anyway, what else do we have to talk about?
Oh my God. It's
I mean,
unlimited.
I'm sure it's endless, but
Have you been to Payson, Arizona?
I have.
Yes, I went there last week.
Oh, yeah.
This week? Last
yeah,
week?
yeah.
Last
It was
week.
over the weekend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
All the days are blending right now. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was different. Oh, the most amazing thing happened.
Yeah, tell us.
And the problem was this. We were driving. Well, I was driving. I went with a friend of mine and she'd driven from Bullhead City, which was 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So she was exhausted by the time she got here. So she's like, can you drive? And of course, it was only an hour, 17 or something to Payson from Mesa, Arizona. Long story short, I saw all these amazing wild horses. Had I been driving myself, I would have pulled over.
Oh.
Because I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Oh, you didn't
and I was like,
pull
I
over?
didn't pull over. So I don't have a single, even photo of these amazing wild horses.
Just photo in your brain.
Yeah, I did. I was like, do you ever do this? Or is this just me that you sort of like take photos with your eyes? Like you blink,
Okay.
blink, blink, blink.
I don't, but I have to say, my cousin Cynthia that I already shouted out, her son, I think he's 4 or 5, he does that.
Yeah.
And I spent a weekend with them in April, and it was the first time that he was like old enough to like really like interact with,
Yeah.
And we're in the car, and it was literally like the first probably 30 minutes of me being there because they picked me up from the airport.
Aw.
And I was talking to him, chatting him up, but he's super shy at first. And so he wasn't really saying much. And I don't remember what I was talking about, but I was saying something and he was just kind of staring at me. And I was like, can you picture it? And then he did the thing with his eyes and he was like, I took a picture.
Oh.
And I was like, what? And then
That's adorable.
Cynthia's like, oh, that's what he does. That's how he takes pictures. And so
That's so cute. Yeah, I do. Whenever I don't have like access to a phone or whatever,
you're
I'm
just
like,
snapping.
you know what? I'm just going to remember this. Snap, snap,
That's
snap, snap, snap.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I do have the great memories, and it was such a pretty town.
Mm-hmm.
I did something random that I never thought I would be doing.
Okay.
We went to stay at a friend of my friend's. But basically, it's my friend's mum.
Okay.
And we went to stay with her friend, and they've
Okay.
known each other since they were 16. They're in their 60s now.
Oh,
It's very cute.
it's cute.
Yeah. So, well, an amazing thing happened to me. Not that this is like probably going to sound like nothing to you guys, but
No, we
I
want to hear
got to
it.
ride in a Corvette. And
Oh, that is amazing.
I'd never ridden in a Corvette, and it was like I felt like I was in America.
Yeah.
Like I had. It's so bizarre.
You
I've been
were in
here
America.
11 years, and I have these moments, and someone will say something, and I'll be like, "Oh, that you sound so American," and they're like, "I am American," but it's like growing up, you see these movies, you see the cars, so it's like suddenly it'll just occur to me, I'm in America.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it'll be like, imagine if you said to me, oh, that's Peachy Keen or something. I'd be like, oh my God, you sound so
So
American.
American.
You know what I mean? It's like something that you were really associated it with,
Yeah.
like growing up. So anyway, the sports car, the American sports car, I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I'm in a like Corvette.
Yeah.
It was sort of
Like
cool.
an American dream come true.
Right, but that wasn't the thing. The thing that
Oh.
I did was that she drove for like DoorDash, Uber Eats or whatever, like all these things, Walmart deliveries.
Yeah.
So anyway, my friend that I went with, she's like, you'd be good at this job. And then so she said to her friend, can you take us out and show us it? So
Yeah.
we drove around with her for a couple of hours and just saw her do some deliveries. And
Okay.
it
So
was
she was, like, working
intriguing.
for a
She
little
was-
bit.
Yeah.
And you
It
got
was-
to see it all.
Yeah, and she said she'd made $1,300 that week.
Wow.
So yeah, she's making like quite good money. And I was like, but what about gas? And she's like, well, a tank lasts me a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, okay,
That's
interesting.
awesome.
Yeah, so that was random.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd be doing that, but
Yeah.
I gave it a crack.
It is random, but like I love the story because I can't say I know anyone that can give me the insider scoop, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yes. And what I discovered was you win some, you lose some.
Okay.
For example, we picked up this McDonald's order.
Okay.
And we had to drive. Apparently, you don't see the address till you accept it or you pick it up.
Oh, that's kind of shady.
Yeah. So when we picked it up, she's like, "Oh, I've got to go all the way out to." I'm just going to make this name up, but I think it was called something like Star Valley.
Okay.
So it was a trek. So by the time we probably did the whole thing, it was maybe half an hour, and it was like $5.
Yeah.
And she's like, shouldn't have accepted it.
Yeah.
But then other times it would be like $22, and she's like, 3 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just.
But you have no
I
idea.
have no idea. Win some, lose some. And
Gotcha.
she does Instacart shopping. So that apparently is based on how many items you get, like a percentage of it. So, yeah, each thing, we sort of did one of each thing, which was sort of intriguing.
Yeah, that is cool. I like it.
Something different. I love new experiences. Actually, do you mind if I just tell a quick story?
I don't mind at all, please.
Okay. So this is related to TikTok and my podcast. So my little TikTok thing, the G'day from the USA.
Yes.
We went, sorry, let me go back a bit. I must have put a video of something in Arizona.
Yeah.
And this Sonson's pasty company had reached out and said, if you're in the Mesa area, come get a pasty.
Yeah.
And I saw the comment and I was like, oh, that's made my day. Like I
am actually in Mesa.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'll be there. I'll come get one. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so your wife and I, who was available yesterday, it was very good. We went and got the pasty. Yeah. So when we arrived, the store owner, who was never there, she just happened to be coming from another store. Yeah. And when we got there, it was closed and had a sign, be back at 2:30.
Oh.
We got there. She literally pulled up at the exact same time. And she's like, sorry, I'm normally at the other store, but, you know, like one of my workers had to leave.
Yeah.
And anyway, she's like, oh, my God, are you from TikTok? And I was like, yes. And she's like, I didn't think you'd actually come. And I was like, I said I'd come. I'm here. So anyway,
did she recognize you before you introduced yourself?
Emma said she did.
Oh, okay.
But I said not a chance.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, she said no. But the second I started talking and she heard my accent, she's like, oh, my God.
Yeah, okay.
Is that,
like,
are you that Aussie?
So
anyway, she's like, lunch is on us.
That's so cool.
Yeah, her and her partner they actually have 2 stores called Sonson's Pasty Company. Mm-hmm. And, oh, my God, it just transported me back home. Mm-hmm. You know, like at home you'd get a pasty. It's basically like, I'm not sure if I want to call it like a hand pie.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger. And it's sort of like almost like folded over and then crimped around the edges.
Yeah.
And
it's similar to an empanada.
Right.
But it's bigger.
Right. And then
kind of similar to a calzone now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, but instead of being like the pizza crust, it's more like a puff pastry, more flaky pastry. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that was really lovely. And they were just so nice. But to cut a long story short, she's like, would you be interested in learning how to make a pasty? And I said, yes. And she goes, I'm making them Thursday morning. Do you want to come?
What the heck?
And I was like, I would love that.
You did not tell me that part of the story.
If you want to come, if you are free.
I might.
So I thought that'd be a really cool experience.
Why not?
Come
and you
along.
can make a video on your
That's what
TikTok?
she said. She goes, you can make videos, do whatever you want. And I was like, I really enjoy it.
That's freaking cool.
It was just like we were there maybe like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'm sure we left after 4, so it had to be at least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
They were just so lovely. They're like, what do you want to taste? Like, then they gave us like drink bottles. I don't know, what do you call those?
Oh, yeah. You walk away with some swag.
Yeah.
Cups.
Exactly. And like I said, she's like, you sure you want to come back? I'm like, I'd love it.
Yeah.
Like, I love these random experiences.
Dude.
Like meeting people you'd never meet.
Yeah.
And then just like, when would I get an opportunity to learn how to make pasties?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like I said, that insider, you get that insider scoop on what's actually going on.
Exactly. So,
cool.
I had a really great experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was great. I'm so glad you told that story. I should have asked.
Oh, I just forgot about it. But then I was like thinking about other things I'd done this week and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. I love it. Yeah. It reminds me of, I have a business venture, let's say, that I'm joining forces with my mom on. My mom's buying a business. I'm heavily involved. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we went there yesterday, and I'm not going to say it yet because I don't know when this is going to air and all that. But yeah, she's buying a business. and so anyway, we got to go there, meet the owner, got the tour. I got to see how things are made. And I was just like, this is so cool. I've never been
behind the scenes
this close to something like that, you know? I worked at the Taco Bell cantina one time. And
girl.
that was really cool too because I love Taco Bell.
Right.
But I'm not going to lie. The best thing about it was free Taco Bell during my shifts.
Ooh.
Otherwise, it kind of...
And you have the swag.
Yes, that's the second best part.
The hat.
That's the second best part. And I was terrified when I quit that they were going to take it back from me. I was like, please don't take it. They didn't.
I let you keep it.
Yeah, but other than that, other than those two things, it kind of sucked, not going to lie. But it...
Can I ask a personal question?
Sure.
What did you get paid? And I ask this because it's so fascinating to me, these differences between Australia and US.
I'm pretty sure it was like I think it was like it was 16 something.
It's not bad.
They hired me as a team lead because I have experience in leadership, management, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was 16 something per hour.
And how far back are we going? And
like
what state?
When did I work there? Oh, this was here in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
And this was only a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was right after I left my corporate job, and honestly, it started as a joke.
Right.
Maggie and my wife were there, and they were kind of responsible for it. But we went into the cantina before, I think we were going to a basketball game, and they were like, Emma was like, "Are you guys hiring?" And they're like, "She's looking for a job," and I'm like, "I'm literally not though." And then the guy was like, "Oh yeah, we are, and my manager's here right now." So then the manager comes out to talk to me, and they're just cracking up in the corner. They think it's hilarious, and I'm like, cool, thanks guys, you know. But then I was like, well, why not? Like, I'm not doing anything else, and yeah, I can eat free Taco Bell.
Wow.
But I was only there 6 weeks because literally after probably about a month, I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun while it lasted.
Cool. And you know what the best bit is? When a situation like that happens, you have nothing to lose.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't really care if you get the job or you're not even looking for it, mate, you can actually be yourself and be like, this is me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to try. Yeah. It's just like, it is what it is.
And for me, it was really cool too, because I got to learn what was in the food, which I love Taco Bell, and I'm, really into health and fitness, well-being, all that. And a big part of it is nutrition.
Right.
It doesn't stop me from eating Taco Bell.
Right.
But it does allow me to make choices that are more aligned with me and how I like to eat, because I'm like, oh, I know they do this with that product, so I'm like not going to eat that anymore.
And was it quality?
It is quality, but there's also like they have to have like certain preservatives, because it comes shipped in. They don't make anything in house. So that's really where it gets, for me, it gets like not healthy.
Yeah.
Because they have to add stuff in order to ship it in order to also make it fresh. Like, you get the refried beans are already in a bag because you have to be able to just plop them in, heat them up, and be able to serve them right away because it's fast food.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. But again, it doesn't stop me from eating it.
I hear you.
I love Taco Bell. I told Emma, this was probably a few years ago now, but I was like, the one fast food place that I'll allow us to eat is Taco Bell. And she was like, done. Like, then after that, like once a week, we're like, let's go to Taco Bell. And I'm like, okay.
And it's good value.
Oh, yeah, it's good value.
Yeah.
And it really is like, it is lighter, because of tortillas. But I mean, we could go down this path for a while. But yeah, I just love Taco Bell. And I was like, I'll eat there once a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you still?
No, only because of cost. Like it's cheaper. It's healthier to make food from home. But we still get every once in a while where we're just, you don't feel like it. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
No one wants to cook, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's just go grab something. And most of the time it's Taco Bell because it's cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So anyway, I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
A little afraid of this.
No, don't be afraid. But I have, so I've been developing these, and there are a couple episodes where they're going to sound a little different because I've changed them a little.
Yeah.
And so listeners, just bear with me because I am developing a great set of questions. So if it changes again, just have no
roll
fear.
with it.
Yeah. So anyway, number 1, what is your best self-care tip or advice?
Ooh, personally, mine is a bath.
Yes,
there
I
is
love this.
nothing more relaxing to me than to just lay in a bath, have total peace. Sometimes I'll add a few little like a bath bomb or little salts or whatever. Yeah, I just find I'll read a book.
I love it.
I'll even just lay there. That's for me.
Yeah.
It's just, I've always been like that. I don't know if it is because my mum always did it. Like growing up, it was just, we had water restrictions growing up. Like we literally were only allowed 2-minute showers. Like it was growing up, there was, for years, it was just
that
water.
like a restriction in your house?
No, this was a restriction in the state.
Oh, wow.
You know? So, and they would meter you, you know, like, I mean, they're not going to count 2 minutes, but when you get your water bill,
extra.
Like, and you would get a warning. We also couldn't water our front lawns or back lawns. It was, you were able to do it every other day. Like there was literally like a drought.
Yeah.
So we're just all used to like 2-minute showers, 2-minute showers. And everyone comments to this day, they're like, oh my God, did you even shower? And I'm like, yeah, I did. Like, it's just now ingrained in me to just get in, get out.
I'm literally like, how do you take a 2-minute shower? Like, are you just like zipping like super fast?
I don't stand there and just let the water wash all over me. I'm just
that's one of my favorite
get
parts.
in, wash myself. Yeah. But to me, the bath is that because you could have a bath. So you could just lay in there for 2 hours and just relax. And
yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, that's probably my greatest one is just have a bath.
That is a great tip. And I know I don't have a lot of facts on this, but I know that there's a lot of research on just being in the water and how that can help you.
Yeah, I'm a water baby.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Love it.
Cool. What lights you up right now?
Ooh, what lights me? I like your phrase.
Yeah. What lights you up?
Mine is new experiences. So I was incredibly lit up yesterday when I came home and I was like, we just had, what was my phrase? Did I say we just had an amazing experience?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right when you walked in the door.
Just like we were like, have you had lunch? No, let's go get one of those pasties we heard about. Uh-huh. And to just be greeted so warmly and like, what do you want to eat? It's on us. Here's some merch. Like, come back and make a pasty. It was just the new experiences of it, just meeting people. Yeah. I just like find the genuine connections that I make with people lights me up. And because I'm traveling, it's those experiences that really like, wow, I just had an amazing day.
Yeah, I love that. And it means so much and it sticks with you longer.
It does. Like I say, and I've always said this, like money cannot buy me happiness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, yes, money is very helpful and pays the bills and allows you to do things that make you happy, but it's the actual experiences I have. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like buying something is not going to make me happy. Like even if I was to buy a Corvette, sure, I'd feel happy for 10 seconds, but then I'd be like, it's just a car.
Yeah.
But having an experience with someone, I'm just like, damn. Yeah. Like coming here and staying with you guys, it's amazing. Yeah. Like I'm buzzing every day. Yeah. Like Emma's like, what are you on? Yeah. And I'm like, nothing. I'm just really excited to be here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's awesome. Yeah. I love it. Cool. Yeah. So if you want a good experience and you're feeling like a pasty and you're local, Sonsons.
S-O-N-S. It's basically her mother's name was Sonia. So it's basically, and they called her Son. So Sonsons Pasty Company. Okay. Love it. I think she would say it as pasty.
Yes, that's how we say pasty.
Yeah. The Aussie version is pasty.
Okay, cool. Okay, what is a great source of joy for you right now that you have not put much focus into lately?
Ooh, reading.
Okay.
Definitely reading. And I find this is the traps of TikTok because I feel like I do have like quite a few followers and they're very interactive. So... I find
they love you. They want to talk to you.
So I feel like I try to post. I used to do twice a day and then it got too overwhelming. So now I try to do once a day. Mm-hmm. Even then, that can sometimes feel like, oh my God, I've got to quickly do a video. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I think I overthink it sometimes and I think it has to be some great video when it can be like us.
Yeah.
Having a drink last night. Yeah. That was like my one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everyone loved it. But I tend to find myself making these videos when I should be reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've not done a lot of reading and I thought I would do a lot more of this on the trip.
Okay.
But I'm also planning. So once I do have a bit of downtime, I'll look at a map or like be thinking, okay, where do I want to go next? So, but yeah, definitely reading.
Yeah. You've also been interacting with a lot of people and so that doesn't really leave room to read.
But. Yeah. But I think once I leave here and I'm sort of in no man's land, you know, like I'm not with people.
You'll have some more time.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. If you had 1 minute to tell the world something, what would you say?
Oh God, I'm going to sound very cliche, but
everyone says that and everyone's going to think that, but this is your message to the world.
I truly think do what makes you happy. The best advice someone gave me was when I was going through a really difficult time and they said to me, do what's best for you. Mm-hmm. And I literally stopped and thought to myself, I'm a people pleaser. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be the first to admit this. Like if you tell me you want to go to Taco Bell, I'll be like, oh, that'd be great. And I will enjoy it and I'll have a great time and I'll enjoy the food. I don't have strong opinions about anything. Yeah. So I'm happy to just like, if you like that, I'll love it because I'll get to spend time with you doing it. That is like how I work. But do what's best for you. So I had to really stop and think, do I really want to go to this? Mm-hmm. No, I really don't, but I'll do it because this other person does. So I've had to sort of like, and I'll still do it, don't get me wrong. Like I'm still 90% that person, but do what's best for me. I guess that's do what's best for you. Do what makes you happy. Like follow your heart.
Yeah. That's great advice.
Thank you.
Okay, before my last question, I thought of one that I want to insert.
Ooh.
And it's simple, but
crash test dummy.
And it also goes with your last question, so I feel like I should have asked that next, but whatever. What are you reading right now?
What am I reading? I've got 3 books. 2 I've not started. One is one you recommended.
Oh.
Is it
The Gifts of Imperfection?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I've started that. I think I stopped when it was like jump on the computer and do this test.
Oh yeah.
So I think I did the test.
Yeah. It's not totally necessary, but it's just kind of see where you're at.
Yeah, I was curious. And then I bought 2 books. My 2 favorite authors are John Grisham, who does like legal thrillers, and Patricia Cornwell, who does like crime thrillers. She's basically a I want to say forensic pathologist, but I don't think she is. She's a coroner.
Okay.
So, they're my 2 favorite authors, and every time a new book comes out, whatever I'm doing, wherever I see it, and I always have the hardcover because it's always just been released.
Yeah.
But, so I've got both of those with me, so I really want to crack one open. I'll probably do the John Grisham first because I do love the legal thrillers. Yeah.
What's your, like, prime ideal reading, like, setting and, like, time of day? Okay,
bath, and it can be any time. Okay. I am known to have 3 baths a day. Like I can
for real.
Well, I work nights, so I would normally sometimes come home from work, and let's say I just got home 6:30 in the morning, might jump in the bath because I'm freezing and I just want to warm up.
Yeah. Tired,
and then
whatever.
it just like soothes me and I get in the like restful place so I can sleep. Mm-hmm. And I've been known to wake up, have a bath, and then at night before bed is probably my prime.
Have another bath,
read a book, get relaxed, and then I'm like drifting off.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, if it's also your best self-care, it's not surprising that you would do it as much as you can.
Right. I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, this last one's a multiple choice question.
Oh, I'm scared of this.
Okay. If you ripped ass in public, what would you want? A, people to laugh with you, of course.
Right.
B, everyone ignores it. Or C, people look at you with disgust.
Oh, definitely A. I would actually want to number D.
Oh, what's D?
That people rate it.
Oh, okay. I'm literally adding
like
that
if
to my
someone
notes.
held up like a 10, like the
Just like
fingers or something, like
scorecards.
10. Yeah, I think that would actually be funny.
Okay.
Like I'm good to laugh at myself. So if someone is laughing with me, yeah.
I am literally, for everyone, adding that as an option. People rate it.
Yeah.
Hold scorecards up.
Yes. I
Wouldn't
think I
that
would
be
love
so
that.
funny?
I think that would be funny.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay, I love it. All right. Well, that's kind of a wrap for me. Unless you have
Wow.
anything like super
No,
crucial.
I can't believe an hour has gone past.
I know.
It sort of blows my
it's
mind.
crazy. But
You're
it just
easy to chat to.
flows with us. I know we talked
Yes.
about it before.
It flows.
I love someone that can just like shoot down the rabbit hole real quick and then come right back.
I love a rabbit hole.
Just, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to thank you first of
you.
all, because you're still letting me borrow your equipment at this time.
Oh,
and I'm not ashamed
loving
to
that
admit
it's
it.
getting used.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I also want to thank my future sponsor, my mother, because
Aw.
she's the one that invested in my equipment that's on the way.
She really did. And I love, I mean, she's an amazing person, but to just be like, get whatever you need.
I know.
Not
so
like,
supportive.
yeah, buy the $20 whatever. She's just like, what do you need?
She literally said, get what you need to be successful.
Yeah.
And I was
What a
like,
quote.
all right.
What
Yeah.
a quote.
Yeah. It kind of goes with like, do what's best for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what
Yeah.
a legend.
A legend. If y'all want more from me, please check out my website, chelseabcoaching.com, Instagram, Chelsea B Coaching, Facebook page, Prioritize You. And if you see me in public, please say hi.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll recognize me, but if you do, don't be shy.
9 times out of 10, she's probably got a T-shirt on that says that this girl loves her wife. I'm pretty sure there's one in every colour. And just for those Aussie listeners, I've got to say it, prioritize with a Z, not an S.
I know. I'm just going to start saying that too, since I know I'm going to have some
Oh, definitely.
Australian listeners. I don't want to leave anyone out, I'm all about the equality.
You are.
Lastly, I truly love feedback. So please,
Yes.
if there's something about this episode that you like or dislike, be kind, but let me know.
Constructive feedback is good.
Yeah, this is for you. I want to make it the best experience for you. And then give the episode a rating. And spread the love.
Spread it.
The greatest compliment to me is if you share this podcast or an episode with somebody else, talk about it, send them to my website. I forgot to mention this, but I am a life coach by day. So
yeah, she's amazing.
Just spread the love.
And if you want to support.
Oh my God, I got to add that to my notes. I literally just started
Yes.
that. If you want to support, I got this from Lady Amanda, and it's honestly just a great way to, support. And it's minimum $5 if you want. buymeacoffee.com/mywifesunavailable
/ my wife's unavailable. Jump on, buy us a coffee. We would love it.
I would love if somebody sponsored an episode.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then I think that's pretty much it for now.
Yeah. Send an email. Send a carrier pigeon.
Chat
do
me
whatever.
up.
Yeah.
Carrier pigeon.
Hunt
I kind
us
of wish
down
those
in the
still
streets.
existed. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
Or like the owls from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I want an owl.
That would be amazing.
It really would be.
Oh, I would do anything like that.
All right. Well, thank you, Lady Amanda, for filling in.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me back. I look forward to coming back again.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We want the
Sorry, we want the music.
Hold on.
I'm not leaving till we get the music.
Yeah, we want the outro here.
I love that it's live.
Bye.
Bye.